What's good, Trucking Empire? Just wanted to speak to you guys a little bit today about some things I've been noticing in the industry as a dispatcher, some things that are pretty unethical. I wanted to What's good, Trucking Empire? Tapping in with you guys from the kitchen today, getting a little personal. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something I've been experiencing in the industry a lot more lately. Considering I've been dispatching, as you guys know, strictly dispatching, running my trucks on the road, and it's something I've been noticing get more frequent the more I do it. I don't know if I'm just getting unlucky or what's happening, but this is something in the industry that is really screwing everything up. So I wanted to at least explain to you guys what a double broker is today and explain how it works, on top of explain how they do not benefit the industry and how what they're doing is unethical. So first of all, a double broker, if you book a load, for instance, if I get on the board and there's a load for $2,000, right? Let's say I'm a carrier. I want to book that load for $2,000. Let's say a broker has it posted for 2 vans. Instead, another company creates a fake trucking company and they book that load for $2,000, and then they swing that load at paperwork over to their brokerage, post it on the same load board for $1,800, meaning they just cut $200 off the top. You know, they may go up to $19, whatever, but they're adding a third middleman in between the broker and the trucker. They're adding a secondary broker and then passing it down to another trucker, if that makes sense. So it's really unethical. It's actually illegal because the first broker does not know, like obviously they want to get it straight to the trucker, but instead this guy's hopping in the middle, and the first broker's under the impression that they're booking a load for another trucker, but instead they go in deceiving the original broker, looking like they are going to be the trucker. Instead, they're actually running a brokerage firm on the side over here. So they come in looking like a trucker, they book the load from this guy, then they throw it over here to their brokerage and then swipe it down to the driver. And then these guys are asking for updates from this trucking company and this brokerage, which they have no idea is a brokerage, and then they're having the double broker is trying to call you to get updates and then read that information back up, and it can just screw a lot of things up as far as timing, weight, count of pallets, dimensions. It's a lot of things that could really mess up. Pro tip for you guys. So now that we got that out of the way and explained how double brokering is kind of works, here in a second I'll get on paper and kind of write it down for you guys. I know my hands are kind of everywhere and it may be hard to follow along, but pro tip for you guys on how you can get paid from the original broker instead of the double broker. So lately, for instance, one of my trucks, I had a guy, my driver, Uriel actually, he's out there grinding, weeks on. Shout out to Uriel for sure. He's one of my best workers. But anyways, he goes out, he picks a load up. I book it under, let's just say, a random company name. I'm not going to say any names on this video just because legal reasons. But let's say I book this load for, just make a company name up, TLC. I book a load for TLC. We're going to pick it up under TLC. TLC sends me an email stating, before we get there, hey, pick it up under this name. So instantly, that's one way to pick up on double brokers. So typically, before I book a load, I ask specific details about the load. That's how I've been catching them. So I will, when I email about the load, if it says 6,500 pounds, 10 pallets, I'll email, say, what are the dimensions of the pallets? If they say, hang on, let me get back to you, or give me a minute, or when you call, they said the same thing. Typically, it's double brokered because they have to go to the original broker and ask as a trucker. And then sometimes they don't even get the right information because the original broker don't even tell them, or whatever the case may be, because they think it's a little suspicious. So then they relay that information to you, and it could be wrong. So on this particular load, they said it was 11 pallets and I think 7,000 pounds. We get there to pick it up. It's not under TLC. It's under, let's say, QTI. And so my driver instantly calls me and he's like, hey, I'm picking this load up under QTI instead of TCI and TCL or TLC. And then it becomes confusing because then I'm like, okay, so the original broker is not TLC, it's QCI. So now I have to call my driver. I have to ask him who the original broker is. and if there's any numbers on the paperwork, and then you call the original broker, tell them, hey, I think this load is being double brokered. Can I get the original rate you had it posted for and just get paid through you guys and work straight through you guys? And then you can, do whatever you want with the double broker, kind of move them out the way. Because, at the end of the day, they're screwing you over and the broker. So the broker's going to be more than happy to work directly with you, get it figured out, send you a new rate con. Say, like I said, if it's posted for $2,000, you booked it for $1,800 from the double broker, you can get the original $2,000 from the original broker at that point. So that's a pro tip for you guys on how to get paid from the original broker if you're ever in a double broker situation, and a little bit on how to kind of read it. A lot of times when you call these guys, you can kind of tell a little bit by their, the way they act, the way they treat people, if they're a good company, if they're reputable, if they know about what product they're moving. And actually, like I said, on this load, it was 11 pallets initially. We get there and it was 4. So that's how I knew, little tips and tricks to kind of pay attention to when you're picking up a load. And, I'm running into this maybe 4 or 5 times a week at this point. So this is becoming a bigger issue. I'm willing to say that, 20 to 30% of all loads are double brokered at this point. I'm almost convinced, unless I'm unlucky and catching, if there are only 10% of loads being double brokered, then I'm just catching every single one of them. But I highly doubt that's happening. So you guys be careful out here. There's plenty of things that can go wrong. If you don't catch a double broker, it's fine if they factor or whatever. I'm sure they do if you book the load with them. But things can go wrong in between that. Let's say the double broker gets caught by the original broker. Let's say you drop the load off, right? You factored under the double broker, you didn't catch them. The double broker gets caught by the original broker later on doing something, and they never receive payment for the load you did. You've already factored the money, so then your factoring company never gets paid. Eventually, your factoring company is going to hold out your next payment for whatever the amount was that they factored from the double broker, because the double broker never paid your factoring company. So it's a lot of things that can go wrong, a lot of things you guys need to be careful for, especially in this industry. It's very cutthroat. Everybody wants to make a little piece here and there off the industry, and double brokers are really difficult to deal with anyways. So, you guys be safe out there. Good luck. I'm going to move you guys over to a paper, and then I'm going to break it down on paper exactly what a double broker is. What's up, guys? As promised, I'm going to explain this on paperwork, exactly what a double broker is, so that you guys can follow along better. So let's say the original broker is here. The goal is for him to book a load direct to the carrier. But instead, what happens is the broker posts the load, right? And then this load gets booked by a fake carrier that the secondary broker makes up. So they book it, and then they pass it to their double brokerage. Let's just say this load was $2,000 originally. So originally, the original broker would have posted this load for $2,000, and it would have went straight to the carrier for $2,000. But instead, with the double broker in this situation, they booked this load for $2,000 to the fake carrier, which is in turn the double broker. The double broker posts the load again on the exact same board that the broker had it on for $1,800 or whatever the case may be, a couple $100 less, and then it comes down to the carrier. So obviously, anytime the broker wants to know the carrier's location, it's not getting this carrier's location, it's trying to get this carrier's location. So they have to call the fake carrier. The fake carrier relays the information to the double broker, which is the double broker, and then the information gets lost because they ask the carrier, and then the carrier gives them information and back up to the broker. That's why a lot of times brokers are really annoying and stay on you, because most times it is a double broker in that situation, because they're trying to keep the original broker off their backs because they don't want them suspicious whatsoever. This can cause issues. As stated, like if this load was for $2,000 and it was booked for $2,000 to the fake carrier and they post it and give it to you for $1,800, what is that doing? It's lowering all carriers' profits, and it's lowering also all dispatchers that are tied to the percentage of that profits. So it's really bad for the industry, for the carrier, dispatcher, and the broker all around. This is something that we need to stand together and try to prevent. That's why I released this video today, so you guys can try to keep an eye out for double brokers and try to catch them, because the more that we can burn them and the more that we can get them out of the situations, the more money we can all make together. So that concludes this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. On to the next one.